At about the age of 60, I began to feel what I will describe as retirement anxiety, which I think is probably something that a lot of people begin to feel later in life. If you've always been salaried, I knew what was going to come in each month. I knew when it would arrive. I knew what I could buy with it. I knew it would be reviewed each year, and I might even get a bonus if I'd done particularly well. So when I started looking ahead at retirement, it began to look to me like a sort of big, wide open field with no markers in it at all. And I began to think, well, how is that going to work? Having also worked in the States for 8 years, I had what was called an IRA, an independent retirement account, and I also thought that was probably going to cause me some problems in the future. So there were a few things that were going on for me that made me feel unsettled about the future. And I knew that I had to step up. And I knew that if I didn't step up, nobody else was going to do that for me. And on top of that, I began to just think about financial mistakes that I felt had been made in previous generations of my family. And I felt very strongly, and I still feel, that I want to leave things behind me that are very straightforward, very clear for my children. And really it was all those factors that led to me looking for advice.
So we put a plan together which understands the range of outcomes might be for Sarah, and that might involve, well, how much can you spend and how much do you need to budget, and having that foresight and that insight, if you like, can really give confidence and empowerment to today, because the biggest fear that most people have is, how do I know how much money do I need for the rest of my life?
And to me, the value of working with Nick and having advice is that whatever I'm feeling, there is a kind of bedrock of truth about the situation, what I have, what can be done with it, and how I look at it. Spending. Spending is actually quite hard if you've spent your life accumulating, and you can feel very insecure about spending. But I find our review process very helpful and actually very enjoyable, which is surprising to me, because I think, like many people, I used to have quite a fearful relationship with money, and working with him has given me a much greater sense of security. I think I'm certainly someone who likes to feel in control, and having advice has made me have a much greater sense of control of my life, of my finances.
That's really the reason why I do my job and why I love my job, is because having clients understand their own personal situation with regards to their finances is really rewarding, and the gratitude and the difference that it can make to people's lives and the gratitude that comes from that is what motivates me to do my job.
I believe in expertise. I mean, expertise is something that's discussed a lot in the world today, but I personally believe in people who know what they're talking about. My advisor is not someone who is a remote person simply analysing figures. It is someone who knows a lot about me, knows a lot about my life. And from that comes the kind of advice that he's able to give me. And that to me feels at a whole different level from what perhaps some people might think about a financial advisor. So I see Nick as what I would say is a professional friend.